Guys, let's animate this scene. So, this is a short film about a three-headed mutant chihuahua that is fighting against a giant air fryer who is attacking a punk city. So let's go. Let's animate here. Here I have all the rigs, and now what I'm going to do is get to those crazy poses. So I'm going to bring this dude here. There you go. So first of all, on this pose, I don't need to see the eyes. So eyes, get out of here. The hair, no. This other hair here, neither. Boom. The ears will be around. Ears will be here. I don't care about the ears right now, so let's move it here. Now this mouth, see? I'm copying what I did on the animatic. And the animatic, because I drew everything, I had the freedom. Let me change this mouth to see if I have. And then I'm moving all of these things here. And if you're curious how I rig all of these characters, I have an entire playlist of how I rig the three dogs that you'll see me posing and animating today. Step by step how I rig and how I struggle with with the process of rigging. But eventually it became very intuitive and very repetitive too. But there you go. All those videos are there. Hours of how I rig in Toon boom. Boom. And then these teeth, oopsie. These teeth. There you go. Boom. There you go. So I'm just super fast blocking out stuff. I'm trying not to spend too much time here, because there's a lot more stuff to focus on. So I'm going to move all of these pieces around really fast, just to get a basic blocking of all of these parts. Boom. Let me move this towards the front. This leg also towards the front. Bam, 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 bam. And also this leg towards the front. Boom, 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 boom. Beautiful. This is the body. So I'm going to break the body apart to create a silhouette like I have in the animatic, something like this. Boom, 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 boom. And I know, dude, if I spend too much time here, like a super slow, like line by line, I will never finish this. It just takes so much time. So I'm trying to detach from what I'm doing. Just have something here as soon as possible. Have something that makes sense. closer to the animatic, of course. That's why I put some time on the animatic to lay out, to design the frames, so everything looks beautiful. And when I come to this step of blocking the character, I don't have to rediscover which are the poses that I need. Something on my to-do list is to revisit the legs of these dogs and simplify the way that I rig these ones. These are very complex, and I have to move this a lot to get to a decent line. Okay, let me get rid of some lines here. For example, this. No, that one, no. This one. No. Which is the one that I had to get rid of? This one? That's giving me troubles. Yes, that was that one. You know what? Before messing up with a ton of stuff, let me keep modifying this stuff first before destroying the rig. Cool. So I'm focusing on here on the render view if it's looking well. Let's keep moving this stuff around. I'm going to polish this later. For now, it's just posing this as soon as possible. Boom, 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 boom. And that's a good thing that I try to apply when I'm working, and is being super aware, super conscious of the work that I'm doing, and not just being relaxed and just thinking about other stuff. I like to put music, but at the same time I'm like, okay, let's be efficient, and let's try to keep the flow of my work going. And you can see on my videos, when I start getting like this, is when I'm totally out. So I'm trying to be more aware of that. I'm trying to be more aware of that because I feel like I can progress faster. I can progress faster in this. Not only faster, but also with better results if I just focus more. Focus more. That's something that I always like to say, is that I'm not just doing animation, or I'm not just getting better in animation or design or whatever the heck I'm doing. I'm getting better or also training my personal skills, like being able to be more disciplined, being able to be more focused, being able to train my concentration, to have my focus of attention on one single task at a time. And that's also another reason why I was like, this recording these YouTube videos helps me a lot because I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just focused on this. That's really nice. I feel like I'm more productive, and also I can see over time. I can see like I can go back to the videos and see how much work I did on this week, how much work I did here. So I keep myself accountable. There you go, here. And you'll be like, Henry, the proportion is off. Yes, and that's something that I'm going to fix soon. But right now, I just want to pose everything around. I don't want to see these characters. I don't want to see these characters just with these normal poses. I want to start breaking them as soon as possible. So for example here, boom. I'm not scared of rotating this crazy stuff like this. I'm not scared. Well, we'll be scared of just destroying rig support. And I'm not scared because I also know where I'm going. I know that I'm going to a pose like the one that I have in the animatic. And I also know that if I screw up, I can just lower the opacity of all of this, create a new drawing, and start doing some drawers on top to fix all this stupid shit that I made. And that's it. That's a level of detachment that allows me to move forward with the project instead of overthinking. Beautiful. Pumba. Let me save. Says project save. Now this will come a bit here. We are not seeing, well, maybe we're seeing this eye a bit. I'm going to move it a little bit over there. I'm going to close the eyes of this dude, and later I'm going to polish the deformers of this eye so it feels more rounded and around the form and not just flat. But for now I'm just super fast blocking. I want to get rid of these of these neutral poses and start getting closer to the animatic. There you go. This dude is not happy, he's dying, so let me just change that so I can put this dude in the vibes of the scene. Really fast, like this. This is enough. And all of this crazy stuff that you're seeing that is happening there, I'll fix eventually. This thing also should be around the surface, so I'm moving a bit up. I'm going to move this character closer to where his final position will be, which is something like this. Awesome. This ear could be behind. I can stretch this like this. It's super flat here, but I like how this is looking more three-dimensional and around that. So you'll see how I'm going to take this flat shape into super 3D pose. Let's go with this dude. So this dude is complex. So grabbing the mouth. Moving the mouth up, and then moving this hair up, moving all of this up. Just destroying this thing. Oopsie. There you go. Then I can squash this thing up, so I'm revealing less of the volume here. The neck is also coming up. And the body will rotate all the way like this. You're like, Henry, what the heck are you doing? You'll see, baby. You'll see. Boom. This leg comes like this, comes towards the front, inside, comes like this, And I already learned from the previous rig that I was already wasting time polishing these legs, when the best thing to do is just blocking out first of all, and then worrying about blocking out stuff. There you go. Boom, towards the front. What the heck is this doing here? Boom, there you go. You're like, Henry, what the heck is that? I'm going to show you. This is the first step of blocking this. Awesome. Do I have the formers here? Excellent. Excelente. And then here, boom. Let's move this behind. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome. Everything is working perfectly. That's all I need for now. Maybe I can... Yes, perfect. So, now I'm going to draw in 3D. What the heck? Draw in 3D? Yes. I'm going to create a new layer in which I'm going to call this DO, Draw Overs. And in this Draw Overs layer, I'm going to choose my favorite brush, which is marker number 2. And then I'm going to grab a blue color just to make differentiate this with the with the line art of the characters. I'm going to move this closer to this dude. Come in here to my Draw Overs and start transpassing this information here. So how is that I approach this? Every character exists inside within a cube. So I'm drawing that cube, and this is the cube that I will see inside of my head, and this is the cube in which I'm going to place my character on top. But right now I'm not caring about that cube. I'm actually moving that cube away, and I'm going to freehand my perspective and then check on top of that freehanding, because if I start working on top of this, I'll be more structured. I'll be more like a robot, of like a nerd. You know, I'm not a nerd. I'm a rock star. So instead of being nerdy and not being able to express yourself, I'm going to freehand this perspective, trying to draw with volumetric shapes, and see the volume of this prop. That's also I consider. So I am drawing these lines going around, but I don't care too much right now. Right now I want to explore the pose through doing these sketches. I like how this head is looking that way. I can do something like this. This could be the center line. Now this eye could be around here, and that eye will be closed like this. Awesome. We're not having the ear. I like to keep this same corner here too. So I'm going to eyeball that here. So I'm keeping that character like that. I also, in order to keep the volumes of this nose, I'm going to draw on top of this and just move this a bit over here. There you go. And this is the base of the character, so the head will also be around that base like this. Boom. What else? Let me move this a bit over here. We can see the other eye here too, maybe. So I can close the eye, maybe. Or I can just cover this with the hair and that'll be enough. There you go. Now, something that I'm missing here, this character, is the volume of the neck. I am not considering the neck here, and that's something very important too. And I feel like this shape could be a little bit more up like this to keep more of this Doritos shape that I wanted to add on the head of this character. So I'm trying to bring that shape up a bit. And the neck, I need more space for the neck here. So it'll be something like this. And from here to here I can go like this. Awesome. Now on top of this sketch that I did here, I'm going to create another layer, and I'm going to reduce the opacity of this. and design the pose on top. And for example, here I can have this other leg here. So I'm showing the other leg here. The body is here. Oopsie. The leg is here, and I'm trying to be more accurate with the proportions. This body goes and does something like this. Let me see, how can I make this? Can I move that eye like there? Let me freehand this. I feel like I can improve this eye. I'm drawing around my shape, so it feels more, everything feels more volumetric. Actually, I like how this eye that I drew here looks with this mouth around here. So more than the drawing that I did there. So yeah, those are nice accidents. Those are nice accidents that I embrace here. So here, I'm going like this. This part is flat. The arm comes like this. And then from here to here. Let me look at the character. Yes, this is ridiculous. Now I'm thinking a robot smashed these dudes completely. So wait, I'm going to draw my center line here. That center line goes like this all the way here. So the hair will be built around these shapes. I like that. I like this accident, this thing that happens here. I can add like even a squash here. I can even add like a squash here maybe. So I like that asymmetry in the eyes. This eye is going this way. And it's going this way. But Henry, that's not correct. What is correct, dude? Just have fun. And if it looks good, embrace that. And I like how this embrace. I feel this is part of stretching, where this is going this way. And this is going this way. So I like that. I like that. And here, I can show the ears maybe here. Or if I do something like this? No. What if I move the ear here? What if I do something like this? No. What if I do something like this? What if the ears act like the hands? What if the ears act like hands? Ooh. No, I'm trying not to add more stuff around. Maybe this ear can come here around this thing. So I'm exploring. That's why I'm doing this with the draw overs and not with my rig, because I have more freedom doing this with my drawings than with just moving the rig. Yeah, I can just hide this ear there. Boom, boom. Beautiful. That's the pose that I want. Let's pose the rig on top of this dude super fast. Move this over from. Awesome. And then I'm going to the next frame. And on this next frame, I'm going to trace on top of this rough pass and put the rig on top. So I'm just moving stuff, and because I already designed this key, it's easy for me just to copy on top of this. just moving these deformers around until I get to that pose that I drew there. Boom. 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 I love when I see memes in the internet, on Instagram, whatever, and it's that they pause. It's a meme of a frame of a cartoon, but that frame is so funny. It's so funny that it actually works as a meme. So that's something that I also think about when designing my characters. Like, how can I design my frames so it looks like so it works as a meme? It have potential to be a meme. And it's also, even though it sounds silly, it's true, dude. I see memes that I'm like, dude, I love that meme, and it's an in between, dude. That meme sometimes is an in between, and it's super crazy. It's super crazy, and that's something that I always like to have in mind. That when I'm animating, when I am just designing frames, I try not to add in betweens, but to think about all my keys and breakdowns as drawings, as beautiful drawings itself, not just poses from pose A to pose B. And when I have those amazing cool poses, guess what? Most of my animation is done with those beautiful poses. Most of my animation is done. And if I think about the idea of designing poses that could work as a meme, then that's really nice. That's really cool. Boom. I'm looking at here at the screen to see if I'm recording. Yesterday, while I was recording, dude, it paused completely in the middle of the recording, and I missed one little part. It was not important at all, but dude, I don't want this to not be recorded. Boom. Oh yeah, so this goes on top of here. What the heck I was doing? See, I get lost in my own mind. Boom, there you go. What the heck is this, the tail? Get out of here. So this line goes like this. Beautiful. This line here, not that much reveal. Let me see, 10, 18, right? I have a meeting with my community in 42 minutes. 42 minutes. So yeah, if you would like to be part of it, send me a message. I'm revealing everything that I have learned over the years from all the different cool mentors that I had, and sharing everything, sharing everything in a structured way, so you can actually start enjoying your passion and not looking for random courses around or just doing random stuff around, but just going to a place in which you can find all the resources that you need to get out of this awful stage of being just a newbie, and to being able to enjoy your passion and to start understanding animation, understanding the language of animation. I remember I wrote that book, Drawn to Life, from Walter Stanfield. That book changed changed completely the way that I approach animation, that I see animation. That book is like opens a new vocabulary to start understanding drawings, to start reading drawings, to start understanding the language of animation. And I feel that book is super underrated. No one talk about it, and it's huge. And I talk about that book all the time there in this community, so everyone can grab those concepts and learn as much as they can and start playing with us, because the community is all about playing, challenging ourselves, and just providing feedback to each other, so you're not alone just watching videos, but actually having a community, having a family around you that will be there for you to be at your accountability partner there to help you grow. And not only that, to make new friends, dude. You know how awful it is to be just a stubborn dude, closed, locked in your room, learning everything by your own and not meeting other people? That's awful. And I'm telling you this because I lived like that for a long time, And even when I studied in college, one of the things that I regret the most is not making more friends, even much more friends that I met, but just making more friends, because that's the most beautiful part about everything. Is just being an adventurer and going to different places and just meeting a lot of crazy cool people. So in this community, I put together a lot of crazy cool people together to not only talk about animation, but actually start drawing every day. We're having a challenge of 45 days in which I am guiding them, not only one-on-one, but also all the community is supporting each other during these 45 days to learn all the necessary concepts that I needed to express freely in this world that is animation. We are learning about gesture drawing, perspective, shape design, and everything oriented to cartoon animation. If you don't like cartoon animation, don't join. If you don't like cartoon animation, don't join. Because this is like a party, and the music of this party is all about cartoon animation. I have some fans of anime. I'm also a fan of anime, but I feel like we can learn a lot from cartoon animation, and because that's what I really love, and that's what I wanted to build this community around. So we shared interest. It's like when you go to a soccer match or something. You immediately, when you see someone wearing the same T-shirt of the team that you support, that dude is immediately your friend. That's the same thing here. In this community, because we're wearing the same shirt, which is cartoon animation, all of us were able to connect in a more meaningful level, because we start talking about the shows that we love, and we start studying those shows, deconstructing those shows, and improving our skills by studying and absorbing all of the knowledge that those old dudes at the time were showing on those shows, on those designs, on those animations. So yeah, we are having a good time. We are sharing the same interest of cartoon animation, and that's the first requirement. If you really love cartoon animation, awesome. That's the first step to be welcome in the community. And if you would like to know more, just send me a message. Send me a message, and I'll meet with you one-on-one. I'll meet with you one-on-one to listen to you, being like, hey, dude, what the heck happened? What the heck happened? What is your struggle right now? And where do you want to go? And I'll be doing my best to help you get there. I'll do my best to help you get there. See, I develop another level of concentration right now, talking about my community while working on this. There you go. I like this. How I put this ear around this dude. 30 minutes! 30 minutes! No! I don't want to make these videos too long, so I might just finish with this dude, or maybe animate this dude and then go with the other next two on another drawing. Yes! That sounds like a plan, isn't it? There you go. I need some lines here. I need some lines on the eyes. So where are those lines? Here. This line was missing here. Where are you, baby boy? Go towards the front. Ooh. And boom. Ooh. And the cool thing is, like, I can just go to a frame before, select that piece, go to the next frame, that piece will still be selected, and I can just move that piece around and make it appear here, make the comeback of this line here. Now I need to get rid of that line over there. I don't know why it's disappearing here, but there is showing. Okay, it's this body. Amazing, perfect, I got it. Boom, beautiful, troubleshoot. See? How easy is not to be a crybaby? And it's solved. There you go. And that is what is all of this about. It's just problem solving. That's one of the biggest lessons that I learned from my mentors. And one of the other big lessons that I've learned from my mentors, this is something that I questioned at the hardship. One of my friends in the member, she asked me, it's like, when was your aha moment in animation? And my aha moment was when my mentors helped me to stop being a nerdy in animation and start enjoying and seeing and feeling, experiencing animation in a new way. I remember one of my best mentors, Keith. I asked him once on a 2D animation class. I was like, "Hey, how is that the timing of this scene works? I feel like the spacing here is here. They are putting 2 frames here, 2 frames here, and then 3 frames here, and then 4 frames here." Blah, blah. I was like giving super structured, systematic way of explaining, of trying to communicate my ideas. And he was going to answer, but instead of answering me, that's what a good mentor does. Instead of answering me what I wanted to hear, he challenged my beliefs. And he was like, "Henry, I feel like you are structuring your question in a very systematic way, and I feel that that's not a way of approaching timing for animation in this case. I feel that why I'm not revealing this. I'm going to continue the story. Wait a second. No, it's not this. It's not this neither. What is the thing that is revealing this mouth? Beautiful. So I continue the story. I don't feel like that's a correct way of approaching this. And it's like, he told me when I was younger. I used to like this band U2. I think it was U2. And I remember when the guitarist was playing a solo, he was building the hype. For the solo that everyone was waiting for to come. I'll try to tell this story properly. What he said. But at the end, when he was building the hype, instead of going that way, boom, he went in another way. So he was like building, and boom, he went another way. Or then he went another way, and then boom, he built into the amazing solo. Something around those lines. But I got it, and I was like, interesting. He's not thinking about timing in like, I have to put 1 frame here, and then another frame here, and the spacing here, and then I have to change the exposure of these drawings. No, he was just thinking about feeling. And then I remember with another mentor, Neil. let me, before going to that story, let me show you the before and after. See? And yes, maybe I break some rules here, but I have fun and I like this pose. And that's what is more important to me right now. I like this pose. I like the asymmetry between these eyes. I like how I'm squashing here while this other part is going towards the back. Let me render this to look at some stuff around. Yeah, I love it. Look at this pose versus this pose. This is just the normal rig. This is what newbies do. They put the rig on top and they just leave it like that. No, don't be a newbie. Learn how to design your poses so you can bring more entertainment value into your drawings. I deserve a sip of coffee. Okay, so I'm listening to also music while I'm working. So the story about Neil. Before telling that story, I finished the story about Keith. Amazing. That's how I stop being a nerd and start being a rock star. And here this dude is falling. So I'm going to move this dude here. But still, apart from moving this dude, I'm going to also design that other frame. Let me come here to the desktop and show you the animatic of this scene full screen. Let me make this. Look at my beautiful wallpaper. I love those 9 old dudes. Okay. Boom. Where are you, motherfucker? Animatic here. Look, the dude is falling and plack. So here, this pose, actually, I already designed this pose. This pose here is the one that I need to start designing here. So I connect this pose with the next scene here. It is very important when you're receiving an animatic from a scene, from a show, is to being able to drawing future frame. Is to ask, well, most of them they will send you a complete animatic, but also ask, like, in watch. This is also a recommendation that gave me Keith too. It's like watch the entire animatic. Be interested in the thing that you are animating. Be interested in that, because that will give you more information as an animator to know about the context and what is going to happen. So here, for example, I went to the next scene to look for this pose, and instead of having to design or just having this NPC pose here, I'm like, I have to get to this pose eventually in the next scene, so why not get in there right now? Why not get in there right now? So I'm flipping, this is my main pose, this is my next pose, and guess what I'm going to do right now? What I'm going to do right now is grab this pose that I blocked here and reuse this pose. So I'm flipping here, and I want to design this pose here. So I'm going to grab again all my pieces. I don't care about anything here. I'm just moving the stuff around really fast. Pam, 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 pam. I want to expose this here because I don't like to see it disappearing again. So while I block this dude, I'll tell the story about how I became a rock star and stopped being a nerdy. And the cool thing is, like, when I told these two stories to Harshit, he told me at the end of the story, he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm still a nerd. I'm still a nerd." And wait. So I was talking with Neil, and I was showing one of the animations that I was doing, and was this dude doing some crazy action sequence. And I wanted, like, and I showed him, and I started drawing lines around the character, around the animation. He's like, "Look at the spacing. I don't know why it's not working. It feels super even. I feel like if I spread these drawings like this and like this, he was just listening to me. He was just listening to me, and then I said, I want this character to make a sound to be like. I want this character to be like, zoom pound, and I remember the sound like zoom pound, and he was like, there. Do the same thing that you're making with your mouse. Do the same sound that you're making with your mouse in the animation. And I was like, got it. And with those two stories or those two experiences that I had with these two different mentors, allow me to start seeing animation in a different way. It's like, okay, I am not getting to a level of animation that I want because I am not having the correct mindset of approaching animation. And of course, at the beginning, sometimes we tend to overthink stuff because we haven't controlled or mastered some skills. But sometimes we don't have to enjoy the thing that we are doing. We don't have to master the stuff that we are doing to start enjoying the thing that we're doing. We have to develop a competent level, yes, but mastery takes an entire life. So if you're in a process in which right now you're just starting, at least try to enjoy it. At least try to have fun. At least try to experience animation. Not only doing animation, but experiencing animation. Start making weird sounds and start trying to fit your time in the timing of your scenes with those sounds. Start feeling animation in more of a rhythmical way and more of a musical way. I remember I had another mentor. This was Oli, and I think in one story I talk about him, and it's that he was a rigging mentor online from Toon Harmony. But I asked him because I really love his animations, and I asked him like, "Hey, is there any way I can learn animation from you?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And when he explained animation, but he first told me something. It's like, "Henry, I come from the stop motion side of the animation industry." He worked from this studio that animated Wallace and Gromit. I think it was that studio. And he was like, "So the way that I approach animating is in a very stop motion way." And I was like, "Yeah, for sure. I'm curious about it." And he was working super straight ahead, so like in a straight ahead way of animating. And he explained me, like, when I am approach animation, I'm thinking about, like, in music, like legatos and staccatos. Like, you know what that means? I'm like, I have no idea. But then he explained me, and he was like, I'll not do my best explaining this example. When you have legato, you start hearing something like this, tac, 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 tac. But when you have legato, you start hearing things like tac, 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 tac. And that's also the way that he experienced timing and the way that he experienced animating, by building the contrast between these two concepts of legato and staccato. And that was really cool. And that's other tools that I start putting in my tool belt of timing and spacing. Every skill that we learn, I have like tool belts like Batman. I have my bankerants and all that kind of stuff. I have my tool belt for live drawing. I have my tool belts for posing animation. I have my tool belt for timing and spacing. And depending on the problem that I'm facing at the moment, I bring all of those tool belts out of my system and start to use them. So now, before I get lost in the story, well, that's the story about Neil. That's how I went from being a nerdy into a rock star, experiencing animation instead of overthinking it. And now I want to get closer because I feel this drawing is very accurate. I have to create another. Oh, I have to create another mouth here. All good. Okay, let's do a draw over. So I'm going to enable the draw over layer here, and I'm going to start drawing on top of this dude, just to create more flow. Now, remember the surface of this part here behind the character? That's something that I will consider too, of this prop around the character. That's also that I will consider too to draw my character. So this line, I will start moving this line like this. I can drag this leg a bit more. I can drag this leg a bit more. This could be something like this. This body could be something like this. This arm could be, I love how this hand is almost going closer to the head here. That creates more asymmetry between the arms. And then this other one here. I'm tilting this shape towards that side, so these parts are getting closer towards this side and wider towards this side. So I'm trying to tilt these shapes to create more dynamic shapes. And then here, this arm, I can also move this arm around the volumes like this. And from here to here, I can one line this torso with the head here. Now, I feel like I need more volume, so I'm going to bring this part a little bit down and move this a bit up. So I'm building this volume here. And if I nail this pose here, I'll be able to use it again on the next scene, just copying and pasting this. And this head goes on top, so I'm having this gap here in the middle. There you go. And then this central line of the head will be something like this, and the central line of the body will be something like this. And then from here to here, these eyes could be something like this. And I'm considering also the volume of this head, so I'm tilting these eyes around those volumes. See how I'm drawing through this shape? I'm not doing this. That's boring. That's nerdy. I'm going and trying to go around the shapes like this. Boom, the piercings goes there. I can even maybe move the piercings this way, so are also like dragging. Now the mouth, I could make something like, well, actually, I don't need that crazy mouth. No, I don't need that crazy mouth. I can maybe just push this like this. As it is falling. Yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it. Because it makes no sense that in this frame the mouth is like this, and this on the other one is like this. There you go. And this eye goes around like this too. And I can draw this volume around like this. That's also why I see, going back to my stories, that's also when I see people animating like this. And then moving these parts like this, like a puppet and all of that. I feel like you're losing all. This is super nerdy. But when we start drawing like this, when we start feeling the poses, when we start feeling the pose, and when we start doing gesture drawings, instead of blocking up the shapes like construction like this, when we start doing gesture drawings, is when our animations start feeling more alive. That's why I love to study the Nine Elements, because it brings a lot of life to our drawings. Being able to go from this to this, and being able to feel the poses, and on top of this, I start building with more volumes eventually. On top of this, I start building volumes, but not volumes itself like just basic shapes, but volumetric shapes. If we start already playing with the shapes of the characters and adding volumes into the same shapes of the characters, so we don't have to work more on the tie-down process. For example, this is a Sinbad. This is a Sinbad character here. See? So I am already building my character with their own shapes, but adding volumes into those shapes. I'm adding volumes into those shapes. So I'm drawing volumetric shapes and not just straight shapes. I feel this super nerdy. This is what the old dudes used to do, and that's why they're rock stars. And that's what I see inside of these rough passes. That's how a rough pass looks like, because this is not how I'm inventing this stuff, but this is how I see it here inside of these drawings. And on top of those rough passes with accurate information is that we can put the character design on top and everything will look on model. And all of those things are things that I'm sharing step by step on this community with all the videos that I'm provided, but not only with the videos, but the support that I'm giving them every day to understand these concepts. And it's funny because we are also drawing line of actions and stuff like that, and they were like, dude, it looks so easy, but it's not. Just being able to draw a line of action looks so easy, but it's not. And I'm like, it's not that it's easy or not. It's not easy. It's that it's something that it's needed to experience, not only to understand. And I want you to experience that. Awesome. There you go. That's a pose. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to block this. I'm going to block this and start posing my rig on top of these drawovers. It's very important. Like being able to draw and being free to draw whatever the heck you want. That's the most beautiful feeling. It's like playing guitar. It's like playing guitar and just being able to play whatever the heck you want. And that's one of my biggest frustrations in life. It's like I wish I could improvise in guitar. I wish I could understand all the fretboard and know all the scales so I can just go with my friends and jam with my friends or play anything that I want and start feeling instead of just thinking about the scales. But I haven't found an amazing teacher that could guide me in my guitar journey to be able to express like that. But maybe someday. maybe someday. And the same frustration that I have, that frustration that I have is something that I don't want to experience people in animation, and that's the main thing that I'm doing with my friends in this community. And it's like, guys, grab the guitar, grab the guitar, motherfucker, grab the guitar, and with the guitar let's start playing as soon as possible. So I need you to experience right now, first of all, and then I'm going to show you all the crazy scales in a very rough and nasty way, so you will never forget it, and you'll be able to play like a rock star, dude. And that's what we're doing. That's what I wish I had on my guitar journey. Boomba. Tuki. Then moving all of these pieces around, moving this piece around here, moving this like this. See, it's just tracing. That's why I like to put some cool music. That's why we can also have these conversations, these existential conversations. Pookie, Tuki, and Tuki. I'm polishing these lines. And I hope some of these frames could someday be a meme. You know, you're doing good things when your meme starts getting, when your animation starts becoming memes. That's where you know you start doing good stuff. I'll get there. I know that I'll get there. Just keep pushing, guys. Let's keep pushing with whatever we want to achieve. Let's keep pushing, dude. Keep pushing. Every day. And that's something very wisely that I hear for someone. It's like, to be yourself is all that you can do. Be yourself is all that you can do. Yeah, I need this arm. I don't want that line to be revealed here. So how can I get rid of you? How can I get rid of you, dude? Okay, trying to duplicate this arm here. Now I will, no, la concha de madre. I'll copy, no! Technical difficulties, guys, technical difficulties. So there's a moment. Forget it. I'm going to add a new layer here. The heck is this? Okay, mask. We add a peg to this mask. We connect this mask to the hierarchy. It doesn't matter whatever you do here. It's like, oh, you're cheating, or it doesn't matter, my dude. You can do whatever the heck you want, but if no one sees the magic trick, you're good. What is the name of this? Calling. This is calling. This is calling. These characters were inspired in the Radiohead characters. So if you see some similarities, that's the reason why. Pumbaa. Wait. Time. Oof, 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 oof. I have a meeting at 11. You know what? I need more control over this. So I'm going to add deformers. So just some cheeky deformers here. Pumbaa. Pumbaa. Tuki. And by the way, if you're watching this video and you would like to learn something in animation, just let me know in the comments, and I will, on any of these scenes, I'll take the moment to share with you how I will approach those things that you are struggling. There you go. So I want to design this corner. Awful, horrible, feo. That's how we would say it in Spanish. Also, I'm teaching you Spanish here, huh? So we can talk and swear together in Spanish like crazy. What the heck? Why is this not revealing here? There you go. Crazy rig. Crazy rig. Beautiful. Now this mouth goes all the way towards the front. Why are you not coloring that part? Just cheeky cheating this rig, destroying this rig. No OP. Okay, this line disappeared completely. For all the Radiohead fans, that was a reference to. Boom. Pumbaa. And then this around. Oh, I like how the eye looks like that, a little bit open. I like how the eye looks a little bit open there. Let's play around with that. Let's play around that. And I'm trying not to create symmetrical shapes, but leaving some wide gaps in the center while leaving some thinner gaps in the corners. Beautiful. And then this ear, this eye will go like this. I say ear, you hear me? I say ear. Then poop. And then move this here. This here. And around. Pumbaa. Pumbaa. Time. 9 minutes. 9 minutes. 9 minutes. La concha su madre. Boom. 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 I want these piercings to drag too with the character. Oof, can we finish this in 9 minutes? Turbo mode, turbo mode, turbo mode, turbo mode, turbo mode, turbo mode, turbo mode. Turbo F mode. Drag. Curvy. Boom. Yeah, this will be simpler than just going like crazy around. And I feel like it's foreshortening there in the distance. So perfect. There you go, let me polish these shapes a bit more. I like that. I like that. I like that. And that's the only animation that we have on this scene. Is this dropping on the other, and I'll record another video. I'm going to record another video of these two dudes morphing between each other. But other than that, this animation ends here. So from here to here, black, and you're like, Henry, but it's destroying itself. And I'm like, sure, but not exactly. So here I'm going to slow in from here to here. I'm going to slow in from here to here. And from here to here also I'm going to slow out from here to here, and I'm trying to create arcs. See how it's going around? I'm not just letting Toon Boom give me like from here to here. No, I'm moving this dude a bit towards the side. So going around the surface. Isn't it beautiful? Dude, this video is going to be super long. Sorry. Boom. 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 I'm feeling this dude. I'm feeling this dude. Boom. That's the end pose. And actually, we're going to hold that pose for a long time. And we are ending on this pose here. So, moving this here, and this pose will be held for all of this time here. And then he will slowly start moving towards that side. Move this a bit up to create arcs. There you go. Stay in there, and then slowly moving. See? Oh, that leg is going towards the front. No worries. So I want to keep this pose alive, like sliding a little bit. So I'm going to keep that dude sliding here, then pack. So I want to slow in here a lot, but just not. Yeah. Okay, I have in my mind what I need. Now I need another breakdown here, and I need a breakdown of. I would love the head to be the leading part that is falling. Okay, I have to cut here because I have some colds. So I'm going to animate, but in the next video you'll see that I'm going to lead with the head. So the head is falling first. The head will fall first, and then the body will follow. Then the body will follow. And then at the middle of the pose I'm going to create another breakdown in which we have something like the body is going to catch up with the body, with the head, where we're going to have something like this and something like this here, and then from here to here, boom, we're coming to this frame. And you're going to see how I will design those breakdowns in between. But you see that this takes time, animation takes time, especially these two key poses that I did. But with those two key poses, that's enough for me to start playing around with the breakdowns in between and design them super fast. But before just having like a super basic animation from point A to point B, I was like, no, let's lead the action with one part of the character, in this case the head. So that will add more time, and I will create a new video for that. So wait for it, and see you next time. Bye bye.